Hi, I don't know why I'm telling this story. Maybe just to say how miserable I feel now. My name's Arthur, and I'm 16 years old. My story's about a girl I love who doesn't remember anything that happened between us, and I can do absolutely nothing about it. Just listen to my story. About a year ago, a new student from Hong Kong arrived at our school. The student foreign exchange was pretty common for us, which is why nobody paid attention to a new face. Except for our counselor, of course. He asked me to supervise her for a while in order to help her adapt to her new surroundings. You see, I have decent grades and a good reputation with the counselor, and of course, I didn't want to lose that, so I agreed before I'd even met the new student. Our Hong Kong's guest's name was Lin. Easy to remember, isn't it? I had never learned Chinese, so I was a little bit nervous, but as it turned out, there was nothing to worry about, because Lin's English was perfect. And that wasn't the only thing that was perfect about her. Lin was very beautiful. I mean, like, very beautiful. I've never liked anybody as much as her. As soon as I met Lin, I could not stop thinking about her. After school, I showed her around the city, like her own personal sightseeing tour, while I was telling her about her life in London. Lin had never travelled outside of Hong Kong before, and many things here took her by surprise and sparked her curiosity. For example, she was wondering why we only had skyscrapers downtown, and she said that she felt strange staying with a British family in a small private house. Lin had grown up on the 32nd floor of an apartment building in Hong Kong. When I was on my way home, I couldn't stop thinking about the fact I would see Lin the day after. I played our conversations over in my head. I recalled her sing-song accent, and I loved her sense of humor and her gumption. Yes, I can tell you for sure, I was in love. Soon I asked Lin if she wanted to be a couple, and she didn't say no. Lin was the first girl I ever kissed in my life. But my happiness didn't last for long. A terrible accident tore us apart. Once, Lin and I went to the outskirts of the city, along with 4 of our school friends, in a car that belonged to one of them. The weather was amazing, and the weekend was supposed to be very nice. We arrived to a small rocky lake, but instead of swimming, we decided to play volleyball. We didn't play very well, but we weren't that bad either, so as a whole it was fun. Then, one of the guys made a hard, but not very exact serve, and the ball hit Lin in the head. Of course, he didn't mean to do it, but what's the difference? The ball hit Lin so hard that she fell down and fainted. I rushed to her, trying to wake her up, but she was out cold. We were all terribly scared. Thank God one of the girls were more level-headed than the rest of us and called 999. The ambulance arrived and took Lin to the hospital. Lin's mother came from Hong Kong on the first available flight. It took her more than 13 hours, while Lin was still unconscious. I spent the whole time at the hospital, terribly worried for the girl I love. The worst thing was that the doctors wouldn't let me see her. Yes, I was her boyfriend, but I could not go and see her without her parents' permission. And when my girlfriend's mother finally arrived, a strange thing happened. It turned out that she knew nothing about me. So she wouldn't let me visit Lin, saying that she shouldn't be bothered. But I thought that we just simply weren't going out together long enough for Lin to tell her parents about us, but it was still frustrating. I did not see my girlfriend until the day she checked out of the hospital. That day I brought her flowers and a big box of chocolates. I even asked the doctors if Lin was allowed to eat chocolates, and then waited for her at the hospital doors. When I saw Lin walking with her mother, I smiled happily and walked towards her, but for some reason, Lin just passed me by. That was when my own personal hell began. I was afraid that Lin's mother was going to take her home to Hong Kong after all of that, but she made sure Lin was okay and went back alone. But I truly wish Lin had gone home with her mother. The thing was that, after my girlfriend got hit in the head, she forgot that she was my girlfriend. She knew who I was. She knew what my name was. But that was all. Her attitude towards me became even more distant than it was when we first met. It seemed to me that she now looked at me as if I was some nutty nerd. Can you believe it? and some nutty nerd may be worth a couple of words, but going out with him? Are you crazy? I was shocked and broken, and I didn't know how I was supposed to behave because I remembered every little thing. For a while, I tried to avoid crossing paths with Lynn, trying to come to terms with her partial amnesia that erased me from her memory and from her heart. But I could not believe that this was the end of our happy story. I was ready to fight for my incredible love. I planned to show her our pictures, but it turned out there was only a few of them. I wanted to take her for a walk around the city, where we had so much fun together, hoping it would jog her memory. But she would not accept my invitation. Maybe mutual friends could have helped us, but I realized that nobody was close enough to us to know that we were a couple. And that was not all. Soon, Lynn got herself a new boyfriend. His name was Bob. He was at the same school with us, but he was totally unlike me. He was into sports and, frankly speaking, a pretty dumb guy. I could not understand how Lynn could want to be with him. With me, she always had something to talk about. As for Bob, all he could do was make awkward jokes and then laugh at his own jokes. When I saw Bob trying to kiss my girlfriend in the school corridor, I went berserk and was ready to fight. I did not stand a chance against this burly doodle, but at that moment, I did not care. But Lynn stopped me. She yelled at me, "Arthur, oh no, he will kill you, oh my God." Lynn pulled me into the nearest empty classroom, closed the door, and made me sit down at the table, angrily looming over me. It seemed she was about to make a long speech. "You've understood nothing, haven't you?" she asked, and sprung the truth on me. Can you imagine that this amnesia that my sweetheart suffered from was a lie that she made up in the hospital? Lynn actually recovered very quickly, but asked her mother to forbid me to visit her. Why did she lie? Lynn told me that she was literally suffocated by the attention I gave to her, and she was imagining with terror how long and painful for her I would make our breakup, and she had found a solution: to simply stop all communication with me for the rest of her stay in London. Having said all that, Lynn left, and after that, I sat there alone for a long time. Well, this is my story. I am just a cheated romantic with a broken heart, who still can't get over a girl who invented such a weird way to break up our relationship. I am now just simply waiting for when her year in London is over, and she goes back to Hong Kong. Maybe you have a remedy for a broken heart. Or do I have to go on fighting for my girlfriend? Please tell me in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel.